Welcome to the 9th grade English Odyssey skit.
Scene 1. Spends 10 years trying to return home.
Let's look in on Penelope, shining among women, and Telemachus on their home island.
My son, your father would not wish you to trouble yourself so.
Dear mother, father may not have wanted me to be troubled, but he would want me to defend your honor and
her loom, and resumes to work on her tapestry.
The goddess Athena, watching from Olympus, reveals herself to sad young Telemachus.
Telemachus, worthy son of great Odysseus, it is true your father would wish for your strength of wit and might to restore your mother's honor.
Great-eyed Athena, wise protector of my father, for what purpose have you come to me?
Telemachus, you must journey far and wide and learn the news of your father in assembly and demand that they leave this place.
Taking leave of the palace would spare what little stores remain. Worthy men, take of our household, for I fear our supplies are nearly wasted. Take turns feasting at your own palace, until my mother's mind has settled and she finishes the woven burial shroud for my grandfather.
How dare you speak to your guest in such a way?
Telemachus, the bold manner in which you speak makes me believe you are being guided by the gods.
We have been told by your mother that she will choose one of us when she finishes the tapestry, but she's been weaving for years.
And we have just learned that each night she unravels that which is woven by day.
Scene 2.
The first stop on the journey is the island of Pylos, in the house of Nestor, a distinguished figure who fought against Troy.
Nestor, great council of commanders of armies, gives much hospitality to Telemachus.
At banquet, stories are told of great tragedy and great victory. And bread, wine, and meat are eaten.
Great-hearted Telemachus, take these fine horses and chariot. You will surely hear the news of your father if you visit the palace of fair-haired Menelaus. My sons will escort you to it.
Telemachus and the sons of Nestor are received warmly, as strangers are, bathed, anointed with fragrant oils, and rested. The travelers now come to another great banquet.
Come, weary travelers, sit among my family and feast with us.
Husband. This young man resembles one you know, in movement, body, and speech. He is the same. The clever Odysseus had a son named Telemachus.
Are you the son of the crafty Odysseus?
Yes. I have not looked upon his face for nearly 20 years. I was no more than a babe when he left our home in Ithaca.
Ithaca is the island kingdom from whence Odysseus came. What of your mother, the queen?
My mother waits patiently for his return, but I fear time is running out. Suitors are waiting for her to marry again. They stay in our... What's so funny, you know? They stay and fitted me up to continue my search. I leave you with these fine horses, since you have vast and fertile meadows in my home of Ithaca we have ground only fit for goats.
Saves the castaway and washes him upon the shores in the sands of Syria.
Here, Nausicaa, daughter of King Alcinous, is with her handmaids where the river meets the ocean, at a washing place to launder the clothes.
Take these baskets down to the water's edge where the linens are washed. Lay them out on the rocks in the sunshine to dry.
This is a good spot for our purposes. Down closer by the reeds, let's walk to the edge.
What is this? A man? Don't go further. We must tell Nausicaa.
Nausicaa, go further down this embankment. Come away.
What are you hiding down there?
Lady, there is a man down there in the reeds washed ashore by the waves.
Surely we must see if he lives, and if he does, how we might help him.
Lady, please. Don't go, Nausicaa. Your mother, the queen, would not wish it.
But Nausicaa of the white arms knows her own mind and goes down to the reeds to see the stranger.
When she sees him, she draws back because he is battered and in briny state. And from behind the rock she watches him as he lies there.
Who am? We have food and drink in the meal cart. Please refresh yourself.
They join the handmaids at the mule cart.
Girls, fetch the box that Mother packed with figs and cheese and wine.
Odysseus sits and eats hungrily because he hasn't eaten in a long time.
Odysseus, I invite you to the home of my father, but to avoid scandal, we must go ahead of you in the cart. When we are well on our way, go into the town and ask someone to direct you to.
O Queen, I am a stranger and a wanderer in your hand. At your mercy am I. Long I have wished to see the shores of my homeland and hope that you might help me.
Stranger and friend, you are welcome here. Take a seat among the rulers of this land.
Rosemary. And when he finishes, he leaves the chamber for the first hot bath since his time with Calypso.
Scene 4.
Refreshed and comfortable, Odysseus returns to the great hall and gives his queen the voice and story. And with rapt attention, the leaders listen as the great warrior tells of his adventures and wanderings. You have a line.
Oh yeah.
Are the soldiers supposed to be
You, soldier, light a fire to signal the ships that the time is at hand.
The chiefs wait for the soldiers to arrive. And when they do, Odysseus opens the gates to the city, lets in the other soldiers, and the carnage begins.
Fix it.
It won't be long until the shores of Ithaca are in sight and our homes and families are restored to us.
The entire wealth of the Trojan kingdom is on board our ships. What a charge it will be to bring to our people.
Having food for only several days, Odysseus and his men hug the coast in their 3 ships.
We are beginning to take water. We cannot sacrifice the essentials, but we must drop some of our load.
The Trojan gold weighs the most.
But it is the most valuable.
I'm afraid the gemstones must be thrown overboard.
Rubies, emeralds, sapphires, and moonstones are dumped over the side of the ship. Rubies flash in the foam, sink in the waves, and flutter deep and catch the eyes of the naiads, the lovely sea nymphs relaxing in the sea in place of their father Poseidon.
See, sisters, how beautiful. Look at the colors. Look how they catch the light.
Sweet warriors, come beneath the waves, and we will bring you great happiness.
Look beneath the waves.
Join us, O men of war, and rest here in our palace deep.
Poseidon, the great god of the sea, is awakened by the tinkling laughter of his naiads.
Who dares to lure off my gentle nymphs? They are not for mortal men.
Poseidon calls to his son, the keeper of the wind, who bellows on a great cloud. Father, what is it you desire from your loyal son?
These mortals, brazen and bold, have greatly offended my kingdom. Send them a gale wind of such force that for many days they are delayed in their journey.
And Odysseus sends a fierce blast.
Our ship veers off course. Take down the sails. They are no match for this wind. We are being forced south. O fair Penelope, will I ever reach home?
Scene 5.
So after many days, the stores of food are depleted, and the men begin to gaze longingly at the horizon, wondering how long before they starve. And they begin to think of mutiny.
I say, we take our ship. We take over the ship. Odysseus is mad. We have been waiting for our homecoming for years. We have no food, just chunks of old bread.
Odysseus has been a decent leader. He is determined to get home.
But how do we know he is taking us in the right direction? He could have been leading us into some new wretched adventure.
Look, there's an island on the horizon.
All rush to the ship's edge, and indeed they see an inhospitable land with very few trees and very big rocks. So Odysseus and his men form a landing party to search for food and water.
Come on, men. I think I smell roast lamb.
It is coming from the direction of those caves over there, sir. I see. The movement up there among the boulders.
The empty bellies of the men made them mad for nourishment, and the savory aroma led them to the mouth of a great cave. And little did they know that the cave was home to one of the Cyclopses, a fierce race of man-eating giants that had at one time the highest honor of making thunderbolts for Zeus himself.
I, Polyphemus, love stormy weather, because it dashes ships upon the rocks. The sea throws up drowning sailors. Today's choice, more or less, cannot resist a hot meal.
Before he can finish his sentence, Polyphemus rolls a rock in front of the cave entrance and comes after them. He picks up 2 men, bashes them together, and eats them ravenously. The other men cower in a corner, whimpering.
Can the gods be so cruel? We're all doomed.
Oh, why did we agree to come ashore?
Control yourselves. The only way to survive is by our wits and to come up with a plan. We must keep our heads.
God of the sea.
For so generous a host, may I present your enjoyment a deliciously sweet wine, very like ambrosia to one's plate.
Odysseus leaves a cask of wine near the fire and retreats into the shadows.
My little friend, it will please me to relax a while before I nourish myself with your bones. In return for your generosity, I will eat you last.
Sweet grapes.
Good drink. I'll stoke this fire so it will be well hot when I awake from a little rest. Then I'll roast you on a spit like a suckling pig, and now a nap.
How is this?
Excellent. Now let us put it in the fire and get it scorching hot.
The poker burns white in the fire as the one-eyed giant sleeps. And when it reaches the maximum heat possible, before it begins to burn itself, Odysseus takes it out of the flames, holds it over Polyphemus, and plunges the point into his one and only eye.
I'm blinded. I've been blinded. Wait, which one is
You said blinded? Who's done this to you?
Nobody has hurt me.
And stop your howling and pray to the Father to deliver you from your pain. Meanwhile, Odysseus and his men grasp the shaggy wool underbellies of the sheep and hold on with all their might.
Who has stolen my sight? Who has done this damage?
Literally stolen. It's gone.
Run to the ship, everyone. Here I am, foolish one. You who dared to harm guests in your own home and have paid the price. More than anything, hospitality is keystone to a civilized society. May you be cursed. I am your tormentor. Do not forget my name.
Poseidon, great father of the deep, hear your son. I raise my arms in supplication. Let not this man reach his homeland, but if he pleases the gods, that he may.
Scene 6.
Sir, an island.
And a golden palace.
Surely this must be the kingdom of an immortal.
The men disembark at Crystal Pier and mount the marble steps that lead to the throne room.
I have heard. Tell your troubles on the breezes and that blow through our forest.
A humble suppliant I am, and guest at your mercy, to whom I speak.
Odysseus, news of your adventures reached our ears ages ago. We know you are trying to get home. Perhaps the gods are on your side now and we can help you.
Night and day, and none shall be in charge of it, save I.
Be on your way, good man. Your family awaits your return.
Odysseus bows to the king and queen and exits with his crew.
Odysseus, look, it's Ithaca.
I can see people tending to their fires.
By mighty Zeus, I am a grateful man.
And with that, Odysseus sits on a cloth rope, closes his eyes, and falls asleep.
To his chest.
I am certain Odysseus is carrying gold and jewels in that bag.
The bag was given to him by King Aeolus. Why should Odysseus carry treasure on the day of his homecoming, while we are all empty-handed?
I say we break into it and take some for ourselves. A mere silver thread is all that that strands between us and great wealth.
I'll pull it open.
With a quick snap, the tie is broken, and suddenly, with great ferocity, the north, east, and south winds whip out, knock the men to the ground, and shake Odysseus.
What happened? Who has touched the bag? The winds, they howl in wild directions. We're losing sight of Ithaca.
The wild west wind is no match for the power of the others combined, and Odysseus and the crew are driven away once again from their goal.
Odysseus sinks to his knees and
Scene 7.
After 3 days, the ship takes refuge in a calm lagoon.
My arrows may be of no use, but we must prepare for a fight. Hermes, messenger of the gods, direct me so that I may save my men and reunite them with their families at Ithaca.
Hermes leans close to Odysseus and speaks of the plan in his ear.
Through Willow Glen and Wild Olive, Odysseus makes his way to the
Crew of my ship.
Circe, who has been weaving colorful images of the naiads and dolphins and sea stars, rises from her loom and walks out into the twilight garden.
Sea-stained warrior, what is it you wish of me?
I wish you to return my men so that we may continue our journey homeward.
Wandering stranger, what you wish is impossible.
Odysseus, ever mindful of the directions given to him by Hermes, follows Circe into her shining palace.
Sit at the table.
Stranger, sit, and I will pour you a beverage that will restore your strength and hope.
But to this beverage, Circe adds magic and sets it down before him in a gold cup.
Drink, great warrior.
And Odysseus drinks from the goblet. When he is finished, he looks into her eyes.
I touch you with my wand, yet you are unaffected by my magic. You must be Odysseus, son of Laertes and seed of Zeus. I have long awaited your arrival.
Lovely enchantress, swear to me that you will treat me honorably like all guests should be, that no harm or evil will come through to me and your wiles.
Resourceful Odysseus, teller of tales and warrior strong, to you only will I make such an oath. I swear no harm or evil will come to you.
And with her promise, Odysseus puts away his sword and returns to the table, his mind distracted and his mood full of darkness.
Will you?
When dawn shows herself again with rosy fingers, Odysseus and his men are well on a new leg of their journey. Their sail is full of Circe's last gift.
Direction we will take.
We sense something.
Once again, I must ask you to have complete faith in me. Do as I say, don't ask questions, and we'll survive another day. You'll see a sight too beautiful to behold, and hear sweet music too lovely to bear, and more danger lies beyond.
What about you, Odysseus?
You must tie me to the mast. Bind me hand and foot so that I am unable to loose myself.
We will do as you say.
And whatever you do, do not any under circumstances free me. Do you understand?
So the men set about plugging their ears with wax and lashing their leader to the mast. And to the edge of the ship and lean into the wind, hoping to pick up the fragrance of the enchantresses.
Come, brave listeners. We are the sirens. Our song is so sweet, none can resist.
Our beauty surpasses any that you have encountered.
Or ever will encounter in your lifetime.
Though the men cannot hear them, they are indeed tempted. Odysseus stands firm against the mast, but is visibly shaken.
Sing, sisters, your sweet song of sorrow and loss.
The pain is all-consuming. Never before have I heard such lilting airs. The beauty is too much to take. Eurylochus, unbind me so that my body might give up my spirit to reside here forever.
But Eurylochus pays no attention to him.
Like priority shards, we'll never make it.
To the best of their abilities, the men obey, leaning hard into the oars to steer the ship. The men look ahead to the churning choppy waves in the narrow passage through which they must navigate, to the dark peg, stony chasm, when, out of the deep black cave emerges Scylla, a monster of such horror that half the men drop their oars, but they are much too slow to escape from her 6 heads, each possessing 3 rows of razor-sharp teeth.
I am Calypso. You must be Odysseus. You are weary. There is no need to go further. I will care for you.
For never have they heard such tales of persistence.
Taking advantage of a break in the story, 2 maidservants refresh Odysseus with the cup and lay him before sweet and lemons.
I had lost everything, and yet Calypso is a nymph. Her home is the island of Ogygia, where I washed up 10 days after losing my companions. She was kind-hearted and gentle, and indeed restored me to health. The hurt in me lay deep, and she knew. She gave me time and care, and I recovered. That I should be on my way. And with her help, I constructed a sturdy raft, and with her blessing, took to the wine-blue sea. After 20 suns,
a ship as able as any on the Aegean.
You have your deliverance, Odysseus.
And Odysseus, in his gratitude, bows deeply to the king and queen of Scheria.
Finds himself deposited on the shores of Ithaca.
Athena, his protector, appears to him on the beach and tells him the story of Penelope's trials.
Odysseus, you have returned at last to your kingdom, but hasten not to your palace and your wife, for though she awaits your return, heavy is her heart and deep are her sorrows. For many years, suitors for her hand in marriage have camped out in your home. Great are their numbers, and they stand as the finest of youths.
and what of my son, Telemachus?
Telemachus has been searching for you, fearing the time draws near when his mother must take a new husband.
Scene 11.
Odysseus obeys the goddess and begins the long walk to his palace. But walking is slow for him, now that he's an old man, and people look at him with sympathy as he makes his way down the dirt road.
Suddenly, as he nears the marble columns of his porch, he is overcome with emotion and weeps into his hands. Nearby, a herdsman with a dog sees the beggar and goes toward him. The dog breaks away from the herdsman, wagging his tail, rushing up to Odysseus, who recognizes his favorite hunting dog, Argus.
What a fine dog you have there. Who is his master?
Never have I seen him welcome a stranger in such a way. I'm his master, but not long ago he had another. His master was the man of this great home, but he went off to the war and hasn't returned. It has been 20 years, but the lady of the house still waits for his homecoming. Sir, is there anything I can help you with?
I have traveled many miles and wish for some food to warm my belly and a place to rest my head. What a mess they have.
Wait.
What a beggar. Don't spoil our feastings with your presence. Ha ha ha.
There are other homes to visit. Continue down the road. Ha ha ha.
Who speaks roughly to a guest in my house? No matter how long you have been here, we must treat each other with courtesy.
This tattered man is a simple beggar and doesn't deserve our respect.
Perhaps you do not understand me, sir. He is a guest in my house, and I will make sure he is treated well. How long I have waited. Do you bring word of your father?
Two maidservants rush to help him remove his cloak and take a place at the table.
Let us eat, gentlemen.
And this wandering stranger also needs to eat. He will stay here tonight, for tomorrow I would like to hear the story of his wanderings.
Bacchus, your mother must choose among us. You have deceived us, fair lady, by your weaving. But the time you choose is at hand.
I set a challenge before you all. My husband Odysseus has a fine top bow. If there is a man in this room who can string that bow, he will be lucky. But the luckiest man will be able to string Odysseus' bow and then shoot the arrow through these 12 axe handles, leaning here against the wall.
I have been at this palace for many years. I was in the room Odysseus himself was born and received him in my arms before his own mother did.
Kind woman, you have been of great service to this household.
I have raised up young Telemachus. The mistress I have seen in this home since the master left so many years ago. Only one person could have a scar like that. How did you get that scar?
A wild boar tore into my leg when I was young.
You are on the hunt for your father, Odysseus, great Zeus. We have been delivered.
Euryclea throws her arms around Odysseus and welcomes him home.
He has arranged the challenge and sits down to watch the contest. Odysseus sits apart from the suitors, but watches them carefully.
Euryclea, take my mother and the maidservants to the inner chamber. This is not for gentle eyes to see. Now that the women are gone, You, sir, step forward and try your might.
Gladly.
He tries to string the bow, but he can't.
Just shoot it.
No, you're supposed to struggle, so.
Oh, supposed to struggle?
You're not supposed to be able to do it.
Okay.
Now put it on the ground because you suck. You did it.
Take my mother and the maidservants to the inner chamber. This is not for gentle eyes to see. Now that the women are gone, you, sir, step forward and try your might.
Gladly.
He tries to string the bow, but cannot.
Because the gods look with favor upon the house of my father, Ferris, I will have luck.
The bow and rub it with warm tallow, perhaps it will bend easier.
He puts tallow on the bow but fails to bend it.
I've long been a skilled bowman, let me try. I have failed.
And you, the strongest of all of them, have failed. It is only fitting that our guests make an attempt.
He takes the bow and gives it to Odysseus, who is still seated, strings the bow with ease, and lets an arrow fly through all 12 assets. The suitors stand in amazement. Odysseus, jumping up, has been transformed by Athena to his splendid self.
Ta-da!
14.
Euryclea comes before the man she raised as her son. Odysseus takes her hand.
Kind nurse, the time has come to tell your lady the truth of what has happened here today. Go to her in her chamber and tell her that her husband has come home.
After I rest, you will be more inclined to show us proof. Let me call my nurse. She will prepare a bed for you outside this chamber, indeed. It is the very bed that Odysseus himself built.
Your words cannot be true. It would be impossible to move the bed that I made. The bed that I built could only be moved by a god. No man could move it. It is carved from an ancient olive tree with roots deep in the earth. I built the room around it. There's inlay of ivory and gold and silver.
It is true. Only Odysseus would have known such things. How many years I have waited.
After a few minutes, Euryclea and Telemachus step back into the room.
For they too wish to welcome him home.